Welcome to Phazon Labs, powered by the World 1-1 podcast, where you should press start to engage your mind. I am your host, Larry the Bearded Wonder. Joining me this week is Michael Morphball Mishap.
Again?
Yeah.
I'd have went with Grapple Bean Mishap this time.
Actually, I'll give you another one. It's Michael Metroid Snack Brown.
Acceptable. like the brain slugs from Futurama.
Oh God, yes. It's exactly that.
We need to make that a hat now.
I've said it for years. I want a Metroid hat, like a big plushy stuffed one.
How does it not exist already?
I know. I am stunned and disappointed and dismayed by that fact. So, but anyways, this is Phazon Labs, World 1-1's weekly Metroid fan pitch series. And this week we are turning it over to Michael to hear his pitch for a new Metroid game in our now still surreal post-Metroid Dread world. So, Michael, what do you got for us this week?
All right. I have just a vague idea at this point. It's not a lot, but it's something we can work with, okay?
That's all right. That's what we do here.
I want to see the concept of Samus or whomever having to fight a Titan like a Colossus, like from Shadow of the Colossus, in Morph Ball form using the Spider Ball.
I mean, we kind of got that with Quadraxis and Echoes.
I haven't played that one, so
I know.
But like almost to where you end up having to roll in and out of him, like just rolling over. Like at one point, I see the concept of the creature lifting up a foot to move, and you having to like dash under his foot so you don't get stepped on. Like while you're on, literally around the bottom of his foot to get back onto the other side of the leg or whatever.
Ooh. Actually, I would build this idea out a little bit.
Yeah.
And say, what if this Titan creature is massive enough that it is actually essentially the entire world map that you're exploring in this game.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah. I could jazz out on that big time. You've got all the organisms living inside it, and we've kind of dabbled with an idea in that vein, but kind of on the shrink ray side of things before here. But no, I'm kind of jazzed about that. Big sentient stone creature type thing, or living planet type thing. But yeah, that'd be a fuck ton of fun
if done right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think the next question then is, what do we put out there for the impetus story wise for pushing this forward? What drives this this is a story that puts her in the situation in the first place?
See, as I said, I didn't have all of this.
Okay. So possibly just oh no, you know what? Instead of necessarily this Titan creature being inherently the villain or the antagonist, what if essentially it's putting out a cry for help? Like it's a celestial size type creature, and it's putting out a cry for help because something is, come along and essentially just infected it and is harming it from the inside out and killing it. And so Samus comes in and lands to try and, help save it from whatever's gotten into it that's hurting it. Because at that point, then you can totally get into some of your boss fight stuff here and there throughout by, some of its internal biology being absconded to try and stop Samus from clearing it out of this creature.
Yeah, I like that, actually.
So next piece then is, what kind of fucking powers and abilities do we pick up as we go along here?
Well, I'm almost thinking, like, especially after the whole concept of, you were going, like, to at certain points you'd be going inside this creature to try to clear away stuff. Maybe, like, the morph ball thing is only on the surface of it, because that's the only way she could survive something harsh dealing with it.
Right.
So interior could almost be the standard type stuff.
Okay. Do we find any new powers or abilities or ideas that, we haven't played with throughout the series?
I mean,
what would you like to do with them?
Give me the ability to float and or levitate in morph ball form.
Okay. That's not a bad idea, actually. I'm kind of surprised we haven't really played with that yet.
Or, like, maybe not so much that, but, like, a booster to the sticky ball thing, the spider ball, that allows you to literally launch out tendrils and attach to things and pull yourself along like that.
Kind of like a morph ball version of the grapple beam.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. I'm here for that. I was going to say, I would love to see something that maybe fucks with the gravity orientation as well. And I'm not quite sure how to dink with it. Actually, you know what? Maybe if you got into like some of the extremities, like its arms-ish, assuming it's bipedal, though I don't know why it would be if it's, floating around in space, but maybe if it moves, if you're like out in a limb somewhere and the limb moves, that it mucks with the gravity orientation depending on what that limb is doing, and you've got to cope on the fly with that. Or that. Something happens outside, like an outside event scripted, that causes it to move that limb.
All right, hear me out here. What if you get a power in morph ball form that literally turns you into a floating Metroid? Imagine how fun it'd be to be able to play as that.
Right. And it does make me sad that the Metroid DNA is gone and that's done, because there is a lot of stuff that could have been done with that.
Don't say that. I still don't believe it's totally gone. Like
it might not be, but my gut says yes.
I don't know. I kind of hope that it's still there, just dormant right now.
Right. I mean, I do too, because there's a lot of fucking righteous stuff we could do with it. But yeah. But no, I'm here for the idea. So, given that we're playing around with a very drastically different setting than this series has ever really delved into, what kind of visual aesthetic would you put behind this? I mean, all of them, every game in the series has a certain visual distinctness to it.
Like, I'm actually thinking, and this is going to sound way off base, but I'm actually kind of thinking, what if the entire game looked like stained glass?
Ooh.
Like, just because you're dealing with something on a cosmic level at this point.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know, it just seems like if done right, it could be interesting.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it would fit. I don't know if I feel like it fits for this per se, but I definitely would love to see the idea done.
Or maybe, like maybe the creature is crystal and gaseous in certain parts or something. I don't know.
Ooh.
Because then this thing makes a lot more sense. What is that?
Yeah. Or at the very least, I mean, maybe like a kind of a crystal cavernous thing with the light hitting it that plays a lot more with those that type of color scheme and design aesthetic without going like full stained glass.
Yeah.
That could work. All right, so we're inside a giant living creature for an entire game. What does the inside of it sound like? What kind of music plays? What do you hear in your head when you think about this?
I'm thinking, okay, what I'm hearing is, you remember the music from the original Metroid, the beeping, basically?
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking that, but muffled, along with body sounds.
Mm-hmm.
And that's literally it. Otherwise, very minimalist.
Okay. So I'm with you. I want to throw something. I want to add to that a little.
Okay.
So here's my thought. All the music in this, the BPM is connected to, and it changes as the game progresses as things happen and the situation is getting more dire for this creature. But the BPM is connected to the creature's heart rate.
Okay. Yeah.
So as you're progressing and things get more strenuous, the BPM is very slowly and subtly picking up as you go through.
Yeah. I like it.
Mm-hmm. So how does this end? What's the end game here? What happens when we finish?
Let me think. I think at the end, you would have to free the creature, but in a way that isn't exactly good. Like, the creature dies and or dissipates from it.
Ooh.
But yeah, like, I'm thinking I think that was like, that ending would be a best case scenario, because otherwise this creature would have been taken over somehow. And this creature is not like massively powerful because of what it is.
Okay. I'm here for it. I really kind of want to. You know what? I think it'd be kind of dope if there was like a power added into the mix here that essentially lets you maybe like multiple tracks of fast travel systems too to help out.
Mm-hmm.
Where
straight up
well, and that's one of them where you can actually essentially phase through the oh god damn it, the capillary walls and get into its quote unquote bloodstream, if you will. But then late game, for the sake of expediting cleanup and being able to get around faster, you get to travel across its nervous system via electrical impulse.
Yeah. God, that'd be cool as shit.
So there's kind of a two-tiered fast travel system. I think would kind of help that out, which means too you can totally get into a way bigger world map essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that would help it along. I think the other thing too would be it'd be kind of cool to see on the world map how it's kind of moving around and reacting externally to what's going on. Like, maybe at some point, and this kind of ties back to the thought of gravity flipping due to it moving extremities and limbs and whatnot, or whatever the hell it has, but moving itself around because maybe like it's grasped a part of itself in pain from what's happening. Yeah. So that's caused a shift in orientation of what's happening inside of it, which then also changes drastically how you have to go about traversing parts of it.
Yeah, and almost certain ways could be shut off depending on how it's moved and things like that.
Right. Like it's essentially, I don't know. I'm picturing, what happens when, like it clenches a fist or something. Like muscles tightening kind of thing, which means that, corridors might constrict and get smaller, all kinds of. No, there's a ton of cool shit you could absolutely do with this. And I mean, like I said, we kind of toyed with the idea a few months back, in the same vein, just, a la Shrink Ray, and the entire game taking place inside of an actual Metroid as it goes through the various life cycles or stages of its life, but you're trying to save it because it's infected, or it's dying. So, but I think this, is maybe like a stone type creature. There's a lot of other things you could do with it. I think maybe like and on the concept that it is a living sentient planet, and there's probably going to be a lot of stone in the mix here too. Maybe something more melee focused, or at least an ability that's more close range focused, but like some sort of pickaxe or a drill to get through certain stone areas.
Which is also interesting because at that point you're literally hurting the creature trying to save it.
Yep.
Like a surgeon almost.
Yeah. I think too a neat way to progress the story and keep like some story going throughout the course of this too is possibly I was gonna say like a psychic connection, or that this creature has the ability to kind of project its thoughts or its voice telepathically into, to Samus, for her to, hear what it's trying to communicate to her information wise about what it can feel and what it can, what it can figure out and sense. But I almost think a really neat part would be to, instead of that, going the route of the creature actually speaking. And so you're hearing its big booming voice, but it's muffled because you're inside of it. The volume of that could even change depending on how far you are from whatever its vocal system is.
I think that would be not bad, but I also really do like the idea of almost telepathically, but not in a way that directly makes sense right away. Like he gives you glimpses that you have to interpret. Yeah.
Actually, another piece that would be really cool that you could totally throw in the mix here is, big scripted event, mid-game type deal, but, something that's going on inside of it causes it like a very sudden, sharp, excruciating pain. And you hear this thing like scream out or, screech out in pain, but the volume level is so intense that it actually like harms and cripples or disables Samus temporarily. So she has to figure out working through some of this with, under duress, essentially.
Okay.
It wasn't there before. I think that'd be a great impetus for toying with that idea.
Yeah.
So that's just, a passing thought. All right. So I think we've pretty well covered the bases, which leaves just one last thing. What do we call this behemoth? What do we call this game?
Surgeon.
Did you get the Madonna edition?
Obviously.
So I don't know. What do you think? Throw me a thought.
I don't know. I got nothing. Like, because I said my original thought was just something so simple. We turned it into something pretty damn cool, actually.
You know what? I don't know. What about oh shit. You know what? Savior of the Titan, or Titan Rescue.
Okay.
I'm spitballing off the top of my head here, so.
Yeah, I've got nothing better though. So.
Yeah. I don't know. Samus and the Dying Celestial. Actually, you could totally just go with, oh god damn it, my brain blinked. Celestial Savior, because you're essentially, trying to save this celestial being.
Yeah, I like that actually.
So, which on the back of that too, if you think about it, going, if you move the series past that installment too, that becomes a big part of like the lore and the legend around Samus as a character too. Like, no, she saved a fucking celestial.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really neat piece that you could totally throw in the mix there. So do something more than just, no, she's the greatest bounty hunter ever. It's like, well, yeah, now we know a really cool, like, super giant thing she did. So
yeah.
But all right, I dig it. Let's put a bow on it. We'll put it in one of our handy dandy manila envelopes, and we'll slip it under an office door at Nintendo and call it a day.
I like it. Let's do it.
Done and done. Well, in that case, I want to say thank you to my fellow lab rat Michael for joining me this week. Thank you to everybody for tuning in this week. And as always, this has been the World 1-1 Podcast Network. Press start to engage your mind, and see you next mission. Peace!